Section 1E, Motivation and Mental Preparation. Now we all know that when we're playing sport, it's not just the skill of the performer and it's not just their physical fitness. Other things come into play that will determine their performance. We often talk of a performer as being in the right state of mind, but what does this mean? You need to be able to explain how mental preparation affects participation and performance using these three key words: relaxation, mental rehearsal and focusing. If you're really nervous before a big competition, what do you do to control those nerves? We need to remember that the mind and the body are both closely linked, and when one is feeling comfortable, so does the other. Some performers control their cognitive anxiety or their worry by relaxing the muscles through massage or stretching. However, performers must make sure they don't become too relaxed just before competition, otherwise they won't perform at their best. Some top-level athletes use the playing of calming music, maybe even meditation. Sometimes a quiet talk with a coach or a friend before competition does the trick and relaxes those muscles. Sometimes people use self-talk, where the athlete goes through a prepared routine of self-communication using some key words as part of their preparation. These key words could be think, just relax, focus on the game ahead, forget about the crowd, look at the ball. We've just talked about relaxation, so what's mental rehearsal? This is the ability of the performer to put a picture in their mind of how the skill is going to look. The performer might concentrate on the key parts of that skill. As this picture is firmly in the performer's mind, it will be easier for them to repeat that picture when they actually come to produce the skill attempt. The image should be positive and a picture of when the performance is really good and at its best. A good example would be a tennis player picturing in his or her mind the perfect tennis serve and trying to repeat that picture when they step up to the baseline. Mental rehearsal improves confidence and allows the performer to rehearse the skill both physically and mentally. Focusing is another key word. Focusing is closely related to mental rehearsal. It's about trying to block out all of the unimportant information and really concentrate on those key parts of a skill that are going to make a difference between success and failure. It may be really trying to concentrate on what you as an individual have to do as part of a team move in netball or basketball or rugby. Trying to remember too much information can be confusing and negative. So this is the time for the performer to try and focus on those key points of performance so that they can do their job. Focusing also helps when people are nervous. It allows them to block out the noise of the crowd or people watching, and they can concentrate on the grip of the opponent's racket. They might concentrate on the flight of the ball. They may concentrate on their body position when playing the cricket shot. Try and make a list of factors during competition that you think may create nervousness in you, and how you may try to block those things out. What do you do before big competitions? How do you try and control that anxiety or nervousness to allow you to perform at your best? What do you think is most important before big competition? Physical preparation or mental preparation? Okay, we've just discussed the idea of nervousness, but some nerves are good. A performer needs to be aroused in order to be at their best. In this sense, arousal means energized. If a performer is not energized or aroused at all, their performance is poor because they just don't seem too bothered. If they are too aroused or too energized, their performance is poor because they make mistakes and their action looks jerky. in that they can't seem to control the smooth flow of the skill. There is an optimum or perfect point where the performer is in the zone, where they're not too nervous and energized, and they're certainly not too sleepy. They're just right, and this might change for different activities. For instance, a tennis player who's got to concentrate on skill production and smooth technique might need to be less aroused than a prop rugby player who's got to be very physical and not worry too much about the finer points of control or technique. Performers are motivated to perform in two main ways: intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivators come from inside the performer. Things like enjoyment, personal goals, satisfaction and pride are all reasons or motivators as to why somebody might try their best in competition. Extrinsic motivators include rewards, certificates, badges, trophies and fame. These all come from outside of the performer. They are motivators that are given to the performer after performance, or perhaps even promised before performance. Try to work out whether you are intrinsically or extrinsically motivated. Why do you play your sport? Is it for those intrinsic motivating factors such as satisfaction and enjoyment? Or do you play to try and achieve fame or money or to win things? Most people are motivated by a combination of the two. People who are successful in sport have probably set goals, and by achieving these goals have got a little bit better each time and eventually have become superb. We may all occasionally set ourselves goals like, I want to win the competition, I want to beat my friend, I want to be a faster runner. But what is it that makes a goal a good goal, and one that can help in terms of mental preparation for performance and a means of controlling anxiety and motivating a participant? The acronym that we try to remember to help us explain this is SMARTER. We try and set goals that are S, specific. This means that you have clearly stated the exact goal that you are trying to achieve. M stands for measurable. This means that whatever increases you make in performance, you can clearly measure. A equals achievable. It's pointless setting a goal that you're never going to reach. For instance, I want to be the world's best player. Unless, of course, that is possible. R stands for recordable. You should jot down on paper or on your computer your progress in trying to meet that goal. Only then can you tell if you're getting close, and this will be a motivating factor. T stands for time-phased. You should have short-term targets, perhaps by the end of this week. You should have medium-term targets, perhaps by the end of this month, and long-term targets, possibly by the end of this year. Your goal should be exciting. It should set you a challenge that allows you to try and perform to your very best in meeting the challenge. R is for realistic, which is a bit like achievable, but it wouldn't be a very good acronym if it was SMARTER. On paper now, try and plot out a SMARTER target for your performance in your favourite sport over the next year.